Hey trappers, Dale Billingsley here with Billingsley Brand Lures. So I had this whole big instructional beaver video film that I filmed this spring, and somehow or another, I don't know, but I've lost it. It's just completely gone out of my camera. It's gone out of my files. It's gone out of the cloud. It's just solid gone. So instead of having an instructional beaver DVD or beaver video, we took some old clips from some old VHS tapes that I had, and we kind of pieced them all together and just made a fun, here's a bunch of catches, here's a bunch of critters kind of thing. Hope y'all enjoy it. Please give a like, thumbs up, thumbs down if you don't. You know, just anything. Hit that subscribe button. We look for more videos to come even throughout the summer. We're going to do some instructional video a little bit, do some nuisance wildlife removal videos, some with my dogs. I get a lot of questions a lot of times about, you know, what's it like to take a dog on the trap line, how, you know, this kind of thing and that. So be looking for some of those videos. We're going to do some fishing. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a lot of fun. So stay hooked with us. Don't go anywhere. We appreciate you. There's just a truckload of coons there. It just happens to be the next day. I don't know, there's probably 25, 30 coon there in the truck.
And it's chilly out today. Pile's getting bigger. My bass last night and caught 2 beavers.
Just a nice big old skunk there in the 220. Just a big Iowa coon there. Like here I'm taking out another skunk. 220 conibear. This was back before dog proofs were ever invented. Another coon in a 220 there. One of the few times you'll ever see me put a beaver on slide wire. In fact, I think that's probably the only clip of me ever putting a beaver on slide wire right there. It was right there on the edge of the city limits when I lived in Ottumwa, and the best thing to do was drown him there. So there's myself and my good friend Jim Kunda from Ohio down in Arkansas, putting in a couple of couch sets. There's Jim's first nutria that he ever caught. There's myself with a nutria. South Arkansas coyote. South Arkansas beaver. I don't drown any of my beaver. I hold them all alive in footholds. Like I said, you saw that one earlier. That's probably the only time that I've ever intentionally drowned one. You can see the trap on the beaver's front foot there. There's another little Arkansas beaver. Both front feet and a number 5 double long spring Bridger. That old beaver wasn't going anywhere. Another beaver on a foothold. Another nice little Arkansas coyote. Just a truckload of beavers and traps. Couple coyotes there too. Another beaver in a foothold there. If I remember right, we took 8 beaver and 3 checks here at this spot. Partner at the time, Jim Cundiff, putting one back in. Beaver on a 330 Conibear. Culvert going under the road right there. It's all down South Arkansas. Another beaver in a 330 set there in a little channel that was going through the cypress trees. Just an average daily run. Another rankle South Arkansas coyote there. Beaver snared on the side of a cypress tree. That's a very effective set, and again, I apologize, but I will show y'all later on how to make that set. It's very simple, very fast, very slick. Little South Arkansas otter there. 330, they was going through that channel there, the beaver and the otter both. Just narrowed it down and dropped a 330 in it. Coming out of that cypress break. Going into another break back off there to behind us. Anytime you can find them channels like that, I highly suggest you set them if you can. Another coyote down south. There's another coyote from down Arkansas way. Big old beaver there, caught in the number 4, I believe. Number 4 herders, actually, by the back foot. Those herders make wonderful, wonderful beaver traps. Beaver there on 18 foot of chain on a Bridger number 5 double long spring. Just tied up there on the bank. Beaver there to cross over on snare. Just a nice day's catch. Just a bunch of snow geese down south, down in Arkansas. Beaver in a 330 there, coming off that channel right there. Comes a live beaver up in a foothold. This is again in Arkansas, but this time I'm trapping with now NTA Vice President Matt Lumley. Another big old hog beaver in a road culvert there in a 330 conibear. Nice big beaver there. One of the perils of trapping in Arkansas or down south anywhere is a big cottonmouth. Just lazily floating down a canal. Matt's first bobcat. If I remember right, that cat weighed 27, which is a pretty nice cat. One of the other perils of trapping down south, there's an alligator. Back in 2003, I worked for the Missouri Department of Conservation on their river otter research project. We caught these otter alive in number 11 double jaw Sleepy Creek traps with 18 inches of chain and a J.C. Connor shock spring in it. And we had to release them, take them out of the traps alive, and then take them to the vet where they put a radio transmitter up inside the body cavity. They were doing telemetry studies on them. And then I had to release them back where they were caught the next day so they could track them. Since it was in September, October, early November, any and all non-targets had to be released. So here you can see I'm releasing a non-target coon. Here we are inside the vet clinic, taking measurements, looking at their teeth right before they get ready to do surgery. This otter had a little beaver bite right at the base of his tail. There's another otter that we caught for the project. I think if I remember right, we put 13 new otters into that project, and I learned a lot off of that deal. Made me a way better otter trapper than what I was before, that's for sure. We use those barrels with the sliding door on them to initially release the otter from the trap. If you get it open and get it between you and him, it's a fight, but he will go in it. Then you just shut the door, Pull his foot back through, take the trap off of him, and you got the otter. There's the vet trying to give him a shot of ketamine and Ativan to knock him out so they can do the surgery on him. Like I said, that was quite a learning experience for me. There he's in one deep otter coma right there. Taking measurements, length and girth and just overall general health of the otter before they do the surgery on him. We want to make sure we were dealing with healthy specimen. Doc prepping him for surgery right there. I'd like to show the surgery, but YouTube has this thing about showing the blood, so we probably better not. Now here we are trying to get another one to go in the barrel. As you can see, it's a little harder to do it when they're in the water, but if you get it open, I didn't have the door open quite wide enough there, and still don't. But if you get it open and get it between you and him, he'll go right in it. It just takes a little convincing on the otter's part to get him to do it. There he goes. Now this is the next day. I got my nephew Tanner with me, releasing that otter that you just saw go in the barrel. Prior to this release, we had a young male otter that we caught and put a transmitter in. And in 3 weeks' time, that otter had moved 100 miles from where I had originally caught him. He had just went from pond to pond to pond, and just going cross country, and just moved 100 miles from where I had originally caught that otter. That's pretty amazing, really. Here I am releasing a non-target beaver on that project. Sorry some of this footage is so shaky. Sometimes the cameramen get a little more excited than I do about things. There's another beaver that's fixing to get the release. And there he goes. There's a really nice double on coon, and I'll show y'all how to do that later on. Just a day's catch of coon and mink. Possum. There's another nice double on coon. There's another nice double there. Another little double. Those are quite common with the set that I use. Another double. I think there's 40 mink there, and I think there's 650 coon in that stack. Otter and a red fox. If I remember right, there were right at 100 rats that year. That's my old partner, George Scalf. There were taking all that fur down to Jim Messler's in Burlington, Iowa. Jim used to be a shipping agent for North American Fur Auctions when they were in business. There's my first. No, take that back. Sorry, that's my second. That's my second bobcat that I ever caught down in Arkansas. That was with Dean Bartz, actually. Dean first went to Arkansas with me in 1996. That was the first time he ever went south. There's, I don't know, I think there's 8 or 10 beaver laying there and a coyote and 2 otters we caught that day down in Arkansas. There's my good buddy Steve Smith from down there. We're fixing to dynamite a beaver dam. This would have been in 1997. It would have been after the Oklahoma bombings when they changed the dynamite to make it safer to handle. The dynamite wasn't dangerous until you mix the two together and then put the cap on it. Then it got dangerous. There's Steve making the pilot hole to put the sticks of dynamite in. Contrary to popular belief and what the movies have you believe, dynamite doesn't work laying on top of the ground. I mean, you have to put it down in or under something to make it work. There's one stick in. Now the stick with the fuse on it, and the cap. There the fuse is lit. There's the explosion. There's the water running. Just a nice Arkansas beaver there. Just a nice Arkansas beaver there, caught on a castor mound. You can see the mound there on that point. Caught in a foothold, still alive. And that's the first bobcat I ever caught. There's some more coons that we caught in Iowa. I think there was 89 of them in the truck that day. The next day after, I think we were clear down to 36 for the day. And just another beaver. And that kind of brings us to a close. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Like I said, there'll be more videos to come. Just stay hooked with me, guys. There'll be more.